Science shows something surprising. Working more can actually make you accomplish less. And while that might sound backward, the research is clear. Excessive hours lead to lower productivity, not more. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. When you reduce your work hours on purpose, you activate abilities that would otherwise stay dormant. In fact, it turns out the biggest factor holding you back may simply be the amount of time you're spending trying to be productive in the first place. Let's break this down. Imagine you're running a marathon every single day. At first, it feels productive. You're burning calories, clocking miles, and pushing limits. But after a while, your knees ache, your lungs give out, and the quality of your run collapses. The same thing happens when you work nonstop. Your brain fatigues, your decisions get sloppier. You confuse busyness with progress. So what's the solution? It's called work compression. It means limiting the hours you allow yourself to work intentionally. This isn't about being lazy. It's about creating a controlled environment where focus, clarity, and results become your only options. Here's how it works. Pick a daily time window that's smaller than what you currently work. If you usually work 10 hours, cut it to 5. And here's the rule. You don't go over no matter what. By doing this, you create pressure, and pressure, used correctly, creates diamonds. Let me explain why this works so well. 1. You see what matters most. Once your time is limited, you're forced to choose. You stop responding to every email. You stop chasing low-impact tasks. You prioritize with precision. This psychological shift is called an increase in perceived importance. Research shows that when something feels more significant, you become more engaged, more focused, and more motivated. You literally start treating your work like it matters, because now every minute counts. This is also what triggers the flow state, that zone of deep focus where hours fly by and everything clicks. Studies show that when you're in flow, you could be 500% more productive. But flow doesn't happen when you're overloaded. It happens when you're clear on what matters and mentally immersed. Limiting your hours boosts clarity. Clarity boosts importance. Importance unlocks flow. 2. You hit the sweet spot between boredom and panic. Here's something else that kicks in, the challenge to skill balance. When your work is too easy, you get bored. When it's too hard, you shut down. But if the challenge is just slightly higher than your current skills, about 4% harder, you hit the magic middle. That's the zone where growth happens. Reducing your hours increases the challenge by default. You've got less time to do more, so your brain rises to the occasion. You become faster at making decisions, better at filtering noise, more skilled in a shorter time. But don't go overboard. You want to stretch, not snap. The point is to create sustainable pressure, not burnout. 3. You actually recover, which means you get better. One of the biggest reasons people don't hit flow is because they never stop working. They don't allow for recovery. They're always on, even during so-called time off. Here's the truth. Your brain needs downtime. Deep focus comes from deep rest. When you compress your hours and stick to your boundaries, you finally give yourself permission to unplug. And when you unplug, your body exits fight or flight mode. Your stress hormones drop. Your thinking clears. This isn't slacking, it's strategy. Recovery is part of the productivity cycle. Without it, the system breaks. How to set up work compression, step by step. Here's how to do this in real life. Choose your work window. Maybe it's 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., or 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., whatever you choose. Make sure it's less than your current schedule, and commit to it. Mark those hours in your calendar. Protect that time like it's a flight you can't miss. Turn off all distractions. Use Do Not Disturb. Disable notifications. No social media, no Slack, no excuses. End on time, no matter what, even if you mid-task, even if it feels urgent. You're training your brain to adapt. And that adaptation is the whole point. Now here's the warning. Your first few days might feel chaotic. Deadlines might slip. You might feel uncomfortable, even irresponsible. Good, that means it's working. Over time, this pressure forces growth. You'll find better ways to communicate, smarter ways to organize. You'll stop wasting time and start creating results. Real talk, why this is so hard at first. Let's be honest. You're probably used to measuring your productivity by how long you work. So when you try to do less, your brain screams. Ignore it. This process hurts before it helps. But the longer you stick with it, the more your output multiplies. You'll start to notice patterns. You'll eliminate waste. You'll delegate what doesn't require you. You'll develop better systems. And before long, you'll find that you're doing more in less time and doing it better. So remember the formula. Subtract hours, multiply output. Repeat that to yourself every time you're tempted to just work a little longer. Final thought. If you're ready to operate like the top performers in the world, those who achieve extraordinary results without grinding themselves into the ground, this is how you start. Shrink your workday. Stick to it. Let the time constraint force your brain to evolve. And watch how your performance explodes, not because you push harder, but because you finally focus smarter.